Hey there, fellow travelers. Mark here with Wolters World, and today we're in Kyoto, Japan on another one of our long-term travel adventures. And today what we have for you are 3 tips or 3 key aspects to help you have a successful long-term travel adventure. And the thing is, when I'm talking about long-term travel, I'm not talking, 2 weeks in Europe. I'm not talking, a weekend away. I'm talking 2, 3, 4 months, a half a year for your gap year, stuff like that. I'm talking about these things. And when I've looked online, I've seen some kind of silly videos and silly articles out there that'll start with the very first thing is make sure you can find reliable internet. Look, I've been traveling since before internet, okay? You don't need the internet. It's helpful, but that's not the key thing about long-term travel. Neither is being able to sleep anywhere you can. Yeah, that's nice, but that's not a key thing. Our 3 key things for being successful long-term travels. 1 is mentality. You got to have the right mentality to go travel abroad for a long time. Number 2, flexibility, not just in your schedule, but how you're doing things and how you really are going to set up your trip is another one. And the third one, and for honestly probably the most important one, is the financial side of things. If you can get these 3 key topics taken care of, you're going to have a much better chance of having a really excellent long-term trip, long-term adventure versus one that doesn't quite live up to your expectations or that maybe you have to cut short. And the first thing I want to talk about is the mental side of it, the mentality. Look, you have to have the right mentality for long-term travel. Long-term travel is not 2 weeks in Mexico or 3 weeks in the Bahamas or sitting on the beach in Rio. No, that's a vacation. It's not a vacation, it's a travel. Okay, and there's a difference because you have to think of it in a different way, because you have to look at it in terms of, okay, I'm going to be doing this in the long term. How am I going to plan it out? How am I going to do things? How am I going to look at it? How am I going to take it in? What am I going to be trying to get out of it? Is very different, because 2 weeks at an all-inclusive in Mexico is about having fun and drinking it up and having a good time. A year backpacking through South America is, I want to learn the language, I want to experience the culture, I want to get to meet some new people, I want to see all the main sites, I really want to get in-depth knowledge here. And that mental aspect is a really big thing, to go from that it's a vacation to it's a travel. Okay, that's the first thing. And the thing is, if we look at the mental side of it, a lot of it actually has to do with how you feel about yourself. And when you do travel, because yes, it's exciting that first week and that first 2 weeks or 3 weeks or first month when you're traveling, say, oh, everything's new, everything's really cool and exciting. The second month, it gets kind of, okay, I know what I'm doing. Oh, it's another church. Oh, it's another temple. You have that kind of mental side of it. And then you get to that third month. And this is something I see in study abroad students all the time. They get to their 3rd month abroad and the depression kicks in. You start getting homesick, you miss your mom, you miss food you miss your normal routine. These things happen. And the thing is you've got to be mentally ready for that. Because if you know that, look, it's a couple months in, I'm starting to feel a little homesick and realize that that's normal, okay, it really makes you feel better mentally in there. Also, if you're doing long-term travel with your kids, you got to realize I've got to plan some downtime as well, okay? And that mental break, with our kids, when we go for months at a time, we know, look, we got to, 1 day a week has got to be just a kid day. But also every, 3 or 4 weeks, we've got to have a 5-day window that is just kids-focused stuff, because for the mental side of it, you just got to have that recharge. Okay, let's go back and see some more cool stuff. The second thing is flexibility. Look, you have to be flexible when you're going to be doing long-term travel. And that's one of the best things about long-term travel. You don't have to have a set schedule. It's not like, today I do this, tomorrow I'll do that, tomorrow I'll do that. No, you can break it up. You find a city you fall in love with, you find your hidden gem in Europe, you get to stay in Bamberg for a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, maybe rent an Airbnb for a month in Japan. You find your spot. And that flexibility you need in terms of your schedule allows you to do those things. But also, looking at that mentality thing, you have to be flexible in your mind as well to say, you know what, maybe this place I always wanted to go to isn't what I expected to be. I thought Pisa would be this magic place, but all it is the tower and a museum and the baptistry. I'm so disappointed. But you're flexible enough to realize, look, I don't have to stay here for 3 weeks. I can go someplace else. I can go to Lucca and go ride bikes on the wall. I can do something else. And you need that flexibility in terms of your scheduling to go and do different things. Because when you're traveling long term, and believe me, I've spent years, I'm not joking, I've spent years traveling around the world, is the best parts of long-term travel are the people you meet. And having that flexibility that when you meet somebody on a train, you say, you know what, I'll get off with you here. Or meeting someone at a hostel, say, I'll go travel with you guys for a while. That flexibility you need to have to go and be able to break away from things really helps you to really enjoy your long-term travel much more than if you have this rigid, no flexible, no, I must be in Tokyo tomorrow, and I have to be in Okinawa the day after that, and then I'm going to be flying out to here for that. Look, that flexible nature is one of the most important parts to have, okay? And the third thing I want to talk about is the financial side of it. Look, I've said this ad nauseum. All those videos that tell you, oh, you can travel the world for free. See how I travel the world for free. They're all BS, all right? I do travel the world, and I'll tell you right now, it's not free. Do I get some upgrades sometime? Yes, I do, but it's not a free ticket, all right? And you've got to be honest with yourself about the financial aspects of long-term travel. It's not just, I'm going to go and have fun. No, do you have the money to do it? Okay? Can you afford to have food? Can you afford to have lodging and stuff like that? And the thing is, when you look at the financial side of it, it's not just go to a cheap country. Yes, you can go spend 6 months in Southeast Asia for next to nothing. We had friends that spent 2.5 years in Southeast Asia, and they only spent like $30,000 in 2 years, okay? So yes, you can do it on the cheap, but the thing is, what if you want to explore other parts of the world? When you look at the financial side of it, look at that price-quality ratio, that what you're getting for what you're paying for. These kind of things you really want to think about, because you know what? 6 months being, living in hostels and eating bread and cheese and that's it, isn't really experiencing Europe, is it? No, you want to go and try the food. You want to have, yes, try the foie gras if you would like, or try the duck in France, or try the sardinhas in Portugal. You want to try these things, but if you don't have the money for it, then you're not really traveling. All you're doing is kind of bumming it from place to place without really experiencing a really vital part of the culture, which is the eating and the drinking and the going to the museums and stuff like that. And you need to have the financial side of it, okay? So make sure you can lock that up. And the thing is, we have tons of videos to help people learn how to save for traveling, how to save while you travel, all kinds of things like that, so you can travel longer, because it does make a difference. Because long-term travel isn't something you can't do. And I know a lot of people will call it a gap year. Some people say, oh, I'm just taking some time off, or my personal favorite, I'm doing a career pivot. No, you're just taking a long-term travel break, and you can do that. But honestly, the 3 key parts, you've got to be mentally ready for it, you got to mentally prepare yourself, you need to be flexible with your schedule and flexible with your attitude, and you got to have the financial wherewithal to actually do it, okay? Because you don't want to be stuck playing guitar, begging for money on the street, okay? I mean, maybe you do. I mean, that could be fun, but I'm just saying, those are some issues you really should think about before you really think about, oh, where am I going to get Wi-Fi? Make sure you're mentally ready to know that in 6 months' time, you're not going to have any of the people you know, you're not going to have any of the food you love, you're not going to have your family around you, that support network. It does make a big difference. So those are my 3 key points for actually having a successful long-term travel experience. I hope they can help you travel better wherever you're going to go. And if you've got any long-term travel experience kind of advice that you've gone on for your gap year or whatever, put it in the comment section below so other travelers that are going to be having these long-term travel adventures, so they can be better prepared. Things you might want to look out for and stuff like that, because I'm doing very much top-level thing here. Just get the overall idea of the mentality, flexibility, and financial stuff, and then you can focus on the fun things of figuring out where you're going to go, how you're going to meet people. What's the cool souvenir you're going to send back to your mom to say, thanks for missing me for 6 months, Mom, because I miss you too, Mom. No, I'm going to be strong. I'm going to be strong. But I love you, Mom, and don't forget to write your mom, okay? And your dad occasionally, because we like getting emails too. We like getting postcards too. Just FYI, it's not just about Mom, okay? But write to Mom first, okay? Because Dad, we understand, all right? So anyway, have a great time traveling wherever you are in the world. And honestly, we appreciate your watching and viewing and clicking that like button and clicking that subscribe button. Because you click that subscribe button, we put out at least 2 new travel videos every week, every Wednesday and Saturday. And we do our best to show all the world we can, from here in Japan to back in the US to Europe to South America to all over. So have a great time traveling, have a great luck, and I can't wait to hear about your adventure of long-term or short-term or one-day travel, even in your hometown. Bye from Kyoto, Japan.